Diamond here with PressureWashHelp.com. Today, I got a new box here, and I want to show you what I got in today. So, this channel I know is mostly about pressure washing, and I understand that, but I'm actually going to start changing it a little bit. I know I had another type of channel on YouTube, and I'm going to kind of combine the two so that way I can really focus on growing this channel and helping you grow your business, or even helping you grow if you want to learn how to do pressure washing, or if you want to learn how to do what's in this box right here. So I ordered this stuff about about 4 months ago. It came over from China. Um, and I just wanted to show you what's going to be in this box. So in this box right here is something pretty cool. It's something that I haven't done a lot. I actually haven't done much of it at all, but I'm wanting to learn it and I wanted to teach you how to do it. And that is these guys right here. That's right, these guys right here. And what these things are called pixels. And they're actually pretty cool. They're RGB, so they actually have 3 lights in them. And this is how we do the singing Christmas light trees, and all that awesome stuff is through um, through Christmas lights and through these RGB. And these are each a pixel. And in these pixels, we can change them and get like a million different colors. So when you see the pretty cool Christmas light trees that are dancing and then it has all the stuff, this is how they're made through these pixels. And so I'm actually going to put a pixel tree together, and I'm going to show you how to put the pixel tree together. I got 2,500 of them in this box right here. And with that being said, we're going to do a pixel tree. I'm actually going to set it up at the firehouse so that way we're going to light up the firehouse, where the firehouse that I work at in Georgetown, with the pixel tree. It's going to be a 20-foot tree, and it's going to look pretty awesome. So I just wanted to show you all my pixels that I got this week. I actually picked them up last night, and I'm excited to get on this journey of pixels. This is something that I'm not very good at, and I don't know. I've had probably 4 classes on it, and it's very confusing to me. It's not something that I've picked up easy and been able to learn about pixels. So what was in the box is 2,500 pixels was in my box that I opened up here. And so when I build my pixel tree, I'm going to show you how everything works. I'm doing good from southern New Jersey. It's a great morning here this morning in the Kentucky here. It's a little dry, and the leaves are starting to fall off. I don't even know if we're going to have color leaves. I think they're just going to go straight to brown and fall straight off. But I just wanted to show you about pixels and how they work. And then also with my channel, I'm going to start doing more lives like this. So if you would like, if you have questions on pressure washing or Christmas lights, just please ask while I'm doing the live, and I'm going to try to get to them and answer your questions. But I just wanted to show you about pixels and how I am going to teach you all about pixels, and to just give a quick thing on pixels here. The other thing is I do have a membership that I'm going to put all my information in my membership. It does cost a little bit, but that is where I am going to put all my information. And if you're looking to grow a business, start a business, it's training. And the reason why I did it in a membership way is because I didn't want to charge $500, $700 for a class. I'd rather, if you want to come in, do the membership, leave, that's what you can do. But I just wanted to show you about my pixels. I bought $500 worth. That's 2,500. This little box here is $500. It's got 2,500 pixels in it. Um, I'll do some videos on how to connect them, how to make them work, all the different things, how to do the videos with it, how to put the music to it, how to put the graphics to it on the tree so we can write different things and all that kind of cool stuff with pixels. So hope you all have a great Sunday morning and everything do. What do you use to clean vinyl siding when pressure washing? All right, so that question is, what do I use when pressure washing? We actually use a chemical called sodium hypochlorite, and with sodium hypochlorite, it also can be called as um, bleach, and this will work with the white PVC fence also. And the thing about the sodium hypochlorite, or SH it can also be called, is we can also use pool shock. And with pool shock, that's actually either can be 10 or 12% sodium hypochlorite, but that is too strong on a vinyl siding or house. So what we want to do is we want to mix that down. If you have a pressure washer that pulls soap, we can actually put that in there and then let that go up on the house. You're going to let it dwell for about 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want it to dry. If this stuff dries on the house, it will actually cause oxidation. So we're going to let it dry on the house, and then we're going to just rinse it off. You don't need no pressure to do it. You actually can use low pressure. I mean, you can take a garden hose, you can actually put, if you go get pool shock, you can put it in a pump up sprayer, and do you dilute it in the pressure washer? Yes, you can dilute it in the pressure washer. I usually do 50-50, so a gallon of or gallon of pool shock and a gallon of water, and that will get us down to 6%. And most pressure washers will downstream. It's like 10 to 1, 20 to 1, so it's going to actually cut it down. And then what do you use to remove the white residue on the fence? It'll just clean it on the PVC fence. This will also clean that PVC fence just like the pressure or on that vinyl siding. You just spray it on, let it sit. You'll actually see the green just basically turn to like a brown and just disappear. And then just take your soft tip or a pressure, you want to use a real wide tip. Don't get close. Even a garden hose will just knock it right back off. The one thing with the pressure washer, you will need the black tip. The black tip is what pulls soap from that pressure washer, especially if you're just using a pressure washer that is a little portable one. You'll just take that soap and put it in there, and you have to use the black tip, because what happens is the black tip has a large orifice in it, and with that large orifice in there, it will draw soap. When we use the white tip or a green tip, it actually makes the pressure higher, and then it won't pull soap from our pressure washer. So we're going to use the white tip, or the black tip. It's usually a black tip. It's got a really large hole in it, and that way it will do that. What can I use to get green mold off of? Hold on, guys. You guys are. Oh, I got to find my answer. What? Spray a little soap, and after I spray it on, just let it dwell and spray. White residue went out. Okay, so the white residue, if that could also be, that actually can be oxidation. And oxidation, to get it off, is a whole different chemical. If you take your hand and rub on vinyl siding or white siding, and you get like a white chalky looking feel, that's actually called oxidation. And the reason why we want to use low pressure is we don't want to mess with that. To get that off, we have to use a different chemical to be able to get that stuff off. If you spray high pressure on there, you can actually remove that white chalky looking stuff. And okay, so I'll give you the process of it, and then that way you'll understand it. If we use high pressure and we knock that pressure, we take a pressure washer and we knock that residue off, the problem that can cause is then if you ever see a house, it looks like where you can see, looks like a kid went around and pressure washed and knocked off that oxidation. That's why we want to use low pressure when we are pressure washing. That won't remove that, but it also won't disturb it. It'll remove all the green. To be able to remove that, there's a chemical that is made by EcoChem, and it's called BC Cleansol, I believe it is. I'll put a link down once I get off here to the site. There's a couple different places you can buy it from. And basically, you're going to do the same thing of downstreaming this stuff on the house and then rinsing it. Sometimes if it's really bad, you may actually need to take like a Mr. Longarm, which is a big 24-foot extension pole with a brush, and you got to actually brush the whole house. Now I've done it one time and I was able to spray this stuff on and rinse it off. But again, you got to be careful reading the instructions on it. And you also got to be careful on that chemical of not letting it sit and dry on the house. So you kind of got to do it in spots. So you'll have to do one section of the house, do the next section of the house. And basically you can pour this stuff if you have a pressure washer, and you can pour it in your pressure washer and downstream this stuff on your house, and then it will actually remove that white chalky film. That white chalky film, like I say, if we don't use high pressure, it will not cause that to remove that oxidation. But if we let that oxidation get in there and we use high pressure, that's why we don't want to use high pressure when we're cleaning. And that. A little trick I learned to remove black marks, tire marks on PVC fence is to white magic eraser. Goes lightly up. Yeah, white, that does work really good on the black fences for PVC. But even tire marks. Oh, you mean like if you rub the tire mark when you're going down the fence with your mower or something. Magic Eraser is really a great product. Magic Eraser can do a lot of things even in the cleaning side world. It's good for that. It's good for a stuff called shotgun fungus. If we have landscaping and shotgun fungus will shoot stuff up. It can shoot up to 20 feet. It'll look like a little white dot, a little white speck on the house, or little black specks all over. People call it bird poop or fly poop, that kind of stuff. It's called shotgun fungus. And white magic eraser is really the only thing I know of that will remove. You can usually take your fingernail and pop the top off, and then it leaves a little black spot, little black speck right on the bottom of it. And what you can do is just take it and take that magic eraser and get it off. If you have a lot of it, obviously you're probably not going to want to do too much of it. But Magic Eraser is a great product for what it is, and a bald guy for Mr. Clean to put out there. But again, with the vinyl siding, that's why we want to low pressure clean, is so that way we do not knock off the oxidation and remove that oxidation. And the oxidation is that gray chalky feeling. What about getting rust stains out of concrete? All right, so to get rust stains out of concrete, so basically the SH is for organic stains. So anything organic, we're going to use that of a concrete kind of stuff for organic. So like if we have black walnuts on a stain on the concrete, SH, sodium hypochlorite, pool shock, that kind of stuff is going to remove that. Rust is an inorganic stain, so it comes from bolts, stuff like that. If we go and put your landscaper goes and puts down stuff in your landscape and they spray that stuff and it's got iron in it. There was a Scotts product that had iron in it, and it would get down onto the concrete. And with rust is a different thing. We need to use an acid for rust. So there is a product out there. It is a little expensive, but it's actually safer than other things. You can use stuff like aluminum brightener and stuff like that. But F9, Craig Harris makes a product called F9. It works amazing on concrete. Now with rust stains and on the house and that. You can also use a product called, yes, F9 bark. You can also use a product called You can also use a product called oleic acid. You can use it, and basically it will break down the barriers of that rust. Now, with that being said, concrete is like a huge sponge. If you take concrete and it gets down into the concrete, you can actually, it'll look good dry, but when you put water on it, you will actually see down into that concrete. So when you look down into that concrete, when it's wet, sometimes your rust stain, even after using an acid, you will still see that stain. So the best way to keep that stain coming up is what we always do with a rust job removal is we will sell a deep sealer concrete sealer. Deep penetrating concrete sealer. And that way, when you put that level deep penetrating concrete sealer over it, when it rains, it don't get down into the concrete, so you won't see that rust stain come back up when it is rusting underneath of it. So that is why when we sell a concrete cleaning job of a rust removal, we will actually sell a deep cleaning sealer. With rust also, you got to be careful. With oleic acid, isn't so bad. With the, I'm going to pull me in here because I see the sun's coming up here. I'm going to go over here. With the rust, you won't see the concrete coming up with that. So with rust, when you clean one pad of concrete, you really want to clean the whole driveway with whatever acid you're using, because it's actually going to make it look like a white color. Oleic acid isn't so bad for that, and neither is Rust Removal Plus. It will, if you use Rust Removal Plus, it will do just that one spot, and not the whole area won't turn real bright white because you're actually using an acid to do that. So that's a great question. With rust removal, usually we charge around $1.50 to $1.75, maybe even $2 a square foot for concrete to remove that product and to use it. And when you're using acids, you've got to be careful. Never put an acid in a pump-up sprayer that's had bleach in it. Never put bleach in a pump-up sprayer that has acid in it. All it takes is one little drop of either in there, and it will make a pump-up sprayer go kaboom. It will blow up the pump-up sprayer. I've seen it happen. Actually, I haven't seen it personally. I've heard it happen and went out and was like, what's going on? And there was a little bit of acid in there. They poured bleach in it, and the next thing you knew, you got a bomb. So be careful when you're dealing with acids. Make sure you don't get this stuff on your hands. Make sure you don't get it on your skin. Don't get it in your eyes. This acid that we're using is what people use to do that. I pressure washed my driveway and sidewalk, and when it was dry, clean, it was spotty. Any ideas? Um, when you pressure washed it, you can use that sodium hypochlorite. I don't know what you mean by spotty. Is it kind of like organic stains that might have been deeper or something like that? Did you use a surface cleaner? Did you wand it? There were some questions. But I always use that sodium hypochlorite pool shock, and you can pre-treat that too. And actually, after you're done with it, you could take a pump-up sprayer and take 50-50, put a gallon of pool shock in and a gallon of water in it, and spray that on your concrete, and that will make it lighter. Just spray it on there. Don't get it in the grass. This stuff that at that strength, it would kill your grass. So make sure you're spraying it on the concrete and not getting it into your grass. Let it dry and let it sit there, and that will help make that concrete look evenly. Because what happens sometimes is when you're cleaning it, you may not get all the organic stains out of it. So like the mold, that deep black mold down in there may actually be pretty deep. So when you spray that that pool shock 50-50, gallon of water, gallon of pool shock, which would put you at 6% sodium hypochlorite, that will cause that black to disappear and go away. And you can actually clean your driveway like that without even using pressure washer. Go try a little bit. You could actually take technically bleach and do the same thing. I use that concrete with a surface cleaner, and it was done. It looks like small round circles, like looks like something. Let's see if I can get my comments coming up here. Let's see here. So I use what looks like dark, like the finish is coming off or something. Do you have some type of sealer on there? Would be my next question, because that sealer, I don't understand. I don't know why you would have black. The ZEP is more of a degreaser. It's not going to kill the organic stains. Your ZEP cleaner is going to have. It's going to be on the base side of cleaning things. So it's more for getting oil up and stuff like that. If you have any organic stains on your concrete from walnuts, from um, leaves, stuff like that, you're going to have to use a that sodium hypochlorite mix. They sell stuff that is the same thing, that vinyl siding cleaner, but in the end, you can go get a gallon of pool shock and a gallon of water, put it together, and spray it on there. The ZEP cleaner is for organic stain, or it's for the greasers and the stuff like that. I don't think there is a sealer. It's not black mark. It looks like concrete. It is white after it was cleaned, but some circles like gray, new gray areas. I would go and put a sodium hypochlorite base, because the degreaser is the ZEP cleaner is a degreaser. It's probably around the 13, 14 on the pH scale, and so with it being that high on the pH scale, it's not really going to get your organic your organic stains out. So you're going to need to use a sodium hypochlorite base to kill that the mold and that kind of stuff. I would about guess that's what you would need to do. And even with that, it will make it look, it'll make it look, that'll actually brighten it too a little bit, that sodium hypochlorite will. But thanks for asking the questions. If you got any more questions, I'll stay on here for a few more minutes and just answer. I didn't know this is how this was going to go, and that's fine. I like if I can get some interaction like this, I may try to do this more often, so that way I can help you all. If you're a homeowner and you're trying to get something clean, or that wonder if just spotting from the degreaser being left not rinsed properly, and that might be it, but I wouldn't think so. Usually your degreasers will wash off pretty quick. If it was an acid and it was spotchy, would be a different story, because it might not have been evenly applied, because an acid like oleic acid, and that's something else you could put on that concrete if you're looking to get it all dried. Thoughts on Joe Max and additive with bleach and water? Joe Max, mm, I rinse it very good, especially the grass. Okay, so you make sure the grass isn't going to get killed. So go back to that question. You could put an oleic acid on it. It's a light oleic acid is a light acid. It's not real strong. Like if you get into muriatic acid and F9, and that's a real strong acid. Oleic acid is a real light acid. You can buy it by the pound, and it's pretty cheap. Um, and you can get it off of Amazon. It's pretty cheap. And that oleic acid, you can spray it on there, and it will also lighten it up too. It'll also bring that white back out of there. The Joe Max, I'm not. I use a surfactant. If you're a homeowner, you can use Gain as a surfactant to help keep this stuff up on the house. If not, you can use. There's a couple places. Even if you're a homeowner, you can buy this stuff. It isn't real cheap. It isn't really expensive. You can buy it by the gallon, and it's a surfactant which helps keep this stuff up on the house. You can buy this stuff from Pressure Tech is one place. Another place is called Southside Equipment in Louisville, Kentucky, and that kind of thing. I wish I could send pictures in this live stream of the concrete. You can email it to me. You can email it to me at pressurewashhelp@gmail.com, and even if I don't get it on this live stream, I will send you a small video in that video in there. So you can email it to me at pressurewashhelp at gmail.com. Pressurewashhelp@gmail.com, and that will send me an email, and I will be able to look at that picture, and then I'll be able to tell you a little bit more what you may need to do um, with that. Um, but with back to the question on Jomax, I've never actually used Jomax, so for a surfactant, I mean I have used Gain. Gain works really good to help hold this stuff up. And what the surfactants do is it actually helps if we just spray sodium hypochlorite up on the house or our soft wash mix, it will just run right back down. The Gain and the, used as a surfactant or a professional grade surfactant from one of the places I mentioned before actually helps hold that water the up onto the house. It's kind of like the soap when we're using on, when you lather it up, when you take a bar of soap and you put it in a washcloth and it lathers it up and it gives you that nice bubbly, and when you put it on you, that's what actually helps keep the lye of the soap on your skin until we start washing it off. So the Gain, the Jomax, the different surfactants, basically what we're doing is we're putting that lather on that house, so that way when that house is there, it will cause it to stay up on the house and make it go up on the house. You have a video with a remote control downstream injector. Does the solenoid get clogged up often? Yes, they do. I don't use that system. I haven't found. You said no. It's actually pressurewashhelp@gmail.com. Pressurewashhelp@gmail.com. Um, um, I do have a system with the remote, and I do have a video on it, and I built it all, and I showed you all how to make the build, and I've built like 4 of them because they keep going bad. The problem I found out is the solenoid with sodium hypochlorite in the bleach. Don, I'll get on that question next about Don. Um, the sodium hypochlorite it will mess up that injector on the solenoid, and it doesn't work. I could get maybe 2 or 3 months out of it, and then the solenoid will get gummed up, and it doesn't work. What I found out about turning it on and off is good old legs, walking back and forth to the truck. Is just, once you get into a rhythm, I can clean a house in 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how big the house is. A typical 2-story house, and it's 2,000 square foot house, 45 minutes to an hour, and that's me walking back to the truck maybe 5-6 times. Once you get into a good rhythm of walking back, don't walk back to the truck too many times is the key to being able to do a house wash fast and quick. And getting into making sure you know how to pull your hose, make sure you're parking in the right spot. Make sure we're parking out in one corner of the house or the other. That way we can walk straight out with our hose and back to the back side of the house. And that's all time management of making sure we're not walking too many times and getting used and doing it. Using Dawn is not a good thing with pool shock mix. Dawn will actually break down the sodium hypochlorite, and actually some Dawns, if you look at it, says do not mix with bleach because it will actually make a gas. The two will make a gas. So Dawn is not good. If you're going to use something, you can go use Gain, Gain laundry detergent. Put it in there, and that works perfect. When we're cleaning a house, we really don't need a degreaser on a house. What we're cleaning on a house is organic stains. So when we clean vinyl siding and it's all green, there's no non-organic stuff on the house. So we really don't need a base per se for that. Any laundry detergent is compatible with bleach. Um, um, with that being said, any laundry detergent. With that being said, shoot, I've lost my train of thought now. Thanks, DJ. Any laundry detergent. So with that being said, why do we don't need Dawn as a laundry detergent, or why do we not need Dawn? Dawn is more for getting oil up. Dawn is more for grease, stuff like that. We don't need grease removal. We're actually getting the organic stains off, which is mold, mildew, and dirt. And those three things are not anything with degreaser in it. So we really don't need Dawn in it. Even I know some people, they'll say they put EBC in it, they put Red Raider in it, all those different things. Um, I'll get to that question next. EBC, that kind of stuff. With that being said, we don't need a base type material for our house washing stuff. So that's why we can use Gain as a laundry detergent, because it's more of a surfactant versus a degreaser type stuff. If we buy stuff from a professional side stuff, Pressure Tech, um, Southside equipment with Russ Johnson, Power Wash Store, any of those surfactants are going to be designed for different so that way that stuff will stick up on the house and stay up there. So the next question was, what do I, for best result? Yes, rinse after. So with roof cleaning, we do not rinse with roof cleaning. We spray this stuff up on there. We'll use a 5 to 6% batch mix when we do it, or you can use a proportioner, get us to the 5 or 6%. We're going to spray it up onto the roof, and we're going to let it sit. We're going to let it dry, and then we're going to let it please advise. Okay, how to clean. You guys got tons of questions for me today. All right, so roof cleaning, we're going to spray it up on the roof, and we're going to let it sit up there, and we're going to let it dry and do it. And when we clean roofs, we don't actually clean the whole roof. We only clean the affected sides that have the black streaks on them or mold and moss on them. We don't clean the whole roof. And the reason why we don't clean the whole roof is because that is more chance of us damaging plants, stuff like that. If it's not on the north facing side, it's not going to be black streaks on the other side. It's not going to start growing on the other side, very rarely. We give a 3-year warranty, and we've never went back to do the other side of a roof. We do the front face, the affected side, and that's all we do. Downstreaming or a pump on a roof cleaning, you've got to use a dedicated pump or a pump up sprayer or an air pump or something like that, because a downstream injector, we cannot get it strong enough. We're only getting to 10% or 10 to 1, so we're only down to 1%. The strongest we can get with a downstream injector is maybe 1.5%, and that's not strong enough. We need to use a dedicated pump to be able to get a 50-50 mix up on this house. If we don't get it up, if we can't get it that strong, there is a possibility, and I know some people that can X-jet it, but even X-jetting, to get it to that strength, you only can flow about 3 to 4 gallons per minute. So you got to either throttle your machine way down, so that way we're only getting that percentage. Because as an X-jet, the more gallons per minute, the less percentage that we can get of the sodium hypochlorite. Going to the next question of drive it or stucco is another way to clean stuff, and that is basically we're going to use we can X-jet it. Downstreaming is a little tough. You got to go straight, and 9 times out of 10 the way we clean it is we'll clean it with a roof mix batch. So we'll use 4 to 6% sodium hypochlorite that's actually going up onto the house. And so when you're doing drive it, it's very important that you make sure that all your bushes, all your plants, all your stuff is getting pre-wetted, wetted, and then after wetted. So you're wetting it. You know, if you're going to do drive it, Nat, you got to use a stronger mix. And basically, spray it on. You're going to watch it just disappear and come clean, and rinse it right back off with low pressure. Drive it is great for low pressure cleaning. Like I said, you are going to have to use a dedicated pump, a 12-volt system, or you're going to have to use a 12-volt system, or you're going to have to use an air pump or something like that. You're not going to be able to use a downstream injector. Now, you may get it with a X-jet, which is the X-jet goes on the end of your gun and it goes down there. And then basically your mix in your X-jet bucket is going to be straight, because we need it as strong as we can get it to get that stuff up there. And this also works for brick and stuff like that, and all that kind of stuff. So What's the best, my favorite surfactant, and what's the best chemical to use to get the roof clean for roofs you can't get on? So is my favorite surfactant is what I've always used. I've used a couple different ones. My favorite one is from Russ Johnson, Southside Equipment, Roof Snot or Snotmonade. I like the Snotmonade or the Cherrymonade, whatever. I actually started using the cherry stuff just recently in training classes because it's kind of newer. And I actually like the cherry better. It knocks that bleach smell, it knocks that clean smell off. You know, lemonade is got a lemon smell in it, and it will knock that smell off of there, and it will keep that smell from lemon. It gives you more of a lemon smell versus a clean smell. The other thing is the on the roof cleaning. I kind of went over it before. We're going to use a 5-6% mix. We're going to put that Cherrymonade or Snotmonade that I talked about. We're going to actually put that into our mixture, and that is how we will clean roofs. And again, guys, if you would like, you can go out over to pressurewashhelp.com and you can sign into my membership. And I know I'm kind of hitting it here, but um, okay. And I go over all this stuff in detail. I show you how to do it. I give everything, all the mixture rates, everything is in my membership. Um, and you can join, you can cancel at any time. You can join today, cancel tomorrow. I don't care. But it gives you all the information that you will need for this. I also give you all my Christmas light information and my pressure washing information. This is a gold mine. I wish I had it when I was first starting out. I went by trial and error, and I kind of went off all the forums trying to find out what everything is. And, you know, this is a wealth of information. All this information in my membership is how I grew my business to $1 million. In 2017, we did $1 million for Pressure Wash Cincinnati. 2018, we kind of backed down. That's when I sold the business. 2019, this year right now, it's going to do over $1 million. And I do all the marketing for Pressure Wash Cincinnati still, even after I sold it. I still do all the AdWords, all the marketing for it. And we grew it to $1 million. And and that's how we did it. And so my classes, I'm actually in Northern Kentucky, which is right next to the Cincinnati airport. They range for about $750 is what I do them, but I'm not going to have one till spring. My membership has everything in it, and that shows you everything. Right now, if you go check it out, it's $49 a month. I have a tier that I can actually be on Voxer, and I Vox, so you can Vox me any questions. So I got 3 or 4 guys that there, and they ask me all questions all the time. How do I clean this? What do I need to do to clean that? How do I clean this? How much would you charge for that? How do I market this? How do I do all that kind of stuff? And it's all in there. And so that is everything in that class. All right. So insurance for new guys. I try. Well, let me go back to the one other question because I've seen it. How XJet for pressure or XJet for drive it. Yes, you should be able to XJet for drive it. Um, you should be able to find a. I actually used a State Farm local guide that I had. You can use a couple different places. You can get online and try to find stuff. Joseph Walters does it. It's okay. A couple different other places and that kind of thing. The other question was insurance. Yes, absolutely get insurance to cover your tail. It's not that expensive. You're going to pay anywhere from probably $400 to $1,000 a year. You may pay a little bit more depending on where you are and where you can find. You can insurance shop around. You can find insurance. 100% get insurance. It case. I mean, there's things that I think we never used it in the 8 years running 4 trucks. I never used it. But yes, get insurance. if you kill a, get out of here, cat. Sorry about that. My cat trying to get my Jeep. If you get insurance, whether you get it from a local guy that you could bust out a window, you could ruin somebody's car, you can, I mean, I've seen it happen. Water get down an electric box and fry the whole freaking thing. Just there's things you need insurance. You can get a $500,000 policy for less than 400 to $1,000. It's not that expensive. It really is not that expensive. So get insurance. It sets you apart from your competitor. It sets you apart from that $99 guy. The $99 guy goes out there, and I mean, we sell it all the time. We have insurance. If they ruin something, they're not going to pay. You're not ever going to hear from that company again. So make sure we're using insurance. Insurance is very, very important. It will save your tail in the long run. It will keep you from getting sued. It will keep you from getting your home, possible your house, anything you own, getting liable of that. So get insurance, become an LLC, do all this stuff you need to do to become a real business. I know a lot of guys want to try to just buy a truck and go do it, but do it. And I understand it takes time to get your insurance. It takes time. I didn't get insurance right away. When I first started 9 years ago, it was a little bit for me to get it, but you got to get it. You got to have insurance, and it's a great selling point. Most times we would always tell our customers, yes, ma'am, you got a half our quote bid, but do they have insurance? Do they have workers' comp? Especially when you get big enough, when you get employees. When you're a one-man show, you don't have to have workers' comp. Workers' comp is a thing that you don't have to have. But when you get big and you start getting employees, you can't 1099 these people. Because here's what happens. If you 1099 a guy and he goes on this house and he falls off and he breaks his leg, he dies, they can sue the homeowner. That employee can sue the homeowner, and the homeowner is at fault, and the homeowner will have to pay, and it's not even out of homeowner's insurance, because what happens is you did not have workers' comp on that guy, even if he's 1099, because at that point he's supposed to have insurance himself for at that point. So that's kind of a little tricky of getting employees. Employees is a whole nother ballgame. It gets, when you have employees, you can't be at $99, guys. That's why our minimum price in Cincinnati area is over $300. We don't go out for under $300. But there's some people else that are local competitors can do it for $200, $225. But he's his own boss. He don't have no employees. He don't have all the extra costs involved in it. Hey, Jason, been pressure washing for 20 years. Also do drain jetting. I run a 12-gallon a minute. Have you ever considered into do you ever consider jumping into that industry? I know nothing about it. I would consider it, absolutely. Um, I don't know anything about it. I bought the little thing you put on it. I've never had. We kind of stayed focused on growing, house washing, concrete cleaning. Big thing we do is a lot of things that other people won't do. Of HOAs, big buildings. We just cleaned last week the. We just cleaned a large Hilton. It was a $30,000 job. We cleaned the exterior of it, and we did all the window cleaning. Took us about 4 days. So those are some of the type of jobs. We never even really got into, and this is a whole nother market of commercial work, of monthlies and yearlies and those types of cleaning. That's a whole nother business line there. We never really focused on that either. Our main focus was HOAs, like your apartment complexes, your apartment buildings, all that kind of stuff. Your apartment buildings, this Hilton, it has 3 giant big buildings and all this kind of stuff. we went in there and knocked it out in less than 4 days, and so those are the types of things that we focus on. We never really focused on heavy equipment cleaning, all that kind of stuff, because when we found out is it wasn't beneficial for us. It wasn't really beneficial for us to go clean, because people don't want to spend $200-300 an hour to clean equipment. Someplace around here, we couldn't find those people. So we found that our target market was the house washing for residential. And the great thing about residential house washing, a lot of people say go commercial and you'll be busy. You're right. But when you're trying to pay employees and that kind of stuff, the commercial side of things, you're waiting 60, 90 days to get paid. Residential, we're getting paid today, tomorrow, that kind of stuff. At least you're honest. It makes time. Thanks. I'll have to look. So, residential is that cash flow. When we do residential work, we have a cash flow of money. It's that next day. So, yes, that $30,000 nice on that Hilton. It's going to be 60 days before we see that money. And we have to pay our employees. We have to pay the lift. We have to pay the chemicals. We have to pay all that kind of stuff. But our residential work keeps us able to float that money until we be able to get that large sum of money. So that is the great thing about doing house washing, residential and commercial, and keep it all that. Now, if you can get local accounts where you're doing every month and you're doing every other week, like the Chick-fil-A's, that kind of stuff, then it makes sense, because that check is going to be coming every month. You're going to get a check from them. So I did a Chick-fil-A account. The bad thing about Chick-fil-A accounts is you're doing them on Sunday, because that's when they're closed, unless you want to do them at night. And I like to sleep. So I do my work. I always went on a Sunday. I did them every other week. I got paid $400, and I thought I could do it in an hour. It actually would take me an hour and a half. So, my goal was to get $200 an hour when I first started out. And even when we have employees, our goal is $200 to $250 an hour is what we try to get on a truck. So on an 8-hour day, we try to book $1,500-1,600 is what we try to book per day per truck. So that is how that works. What did you have to do? What did they have you pressure wash? Just concrete. Just the concrete. We did all the concrete around the building, and then there was a concrete around the drive-through. So we'd have to do the drive-through, and then we'd have to do around the back door, and then once a month I would do the dumpster pad, and so once a month I would do the dumpster pad, and so that would take me an hour. It'd take me about 15 minutes, as long as it wasn't nasty too bad. Put a good degreaser down on it and let her fly and let it hit it. So that is why we did our Chick-fil-A. It got old and I got tired of doing it. People run over your hoses. People don't know that Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, and they would run over your hoses, and they would sit at the drive-thru, sitting at the window waiting for them to talk to them, and it was a pain in the neck. It really was a pain in the neck. So eventually I was like, man, I don't want your $200 of that. Do you clean up the trash around the dumpster pad? Yes, we would clean up the trash around the dumpster pad. I would throw it all in the dumpster. It would drive me nuts. I would try to get them to do it. And, it's one of the things, you either clean around it and it all looks like crap, or you make it look good. And I'm in the business of making it look good. I mean, yes, should I probably charge them to do the trash for me to do it? Yes, I should have charged more. But I lived and learned. I'm not going to go do a half-butt job, and just because there's trash on there, I'm going to make it look right. Now, could I have went and probably asked for more money? Yes, I probably could have. But you know what? I'm a man of my word. I'm going to do it for $400 a month. I did it for $400 a month, and that's the way it is going to be. But yes, clean up after, throw it all in the. Now, if it would have been it never was terrible. It was, maybe a bag here or there. If it's terrible, then that's a whole different ball game. Then we would have been like, I ain't cleaning that. That's nasty, and you need to get all that trash thrown away and put in the dumpster. If you all would like for me to do this more, let me know. Maybe I'll try to do it I may try to come on here more often, and in that way with some Q&As on maybe a Sunday morning or Saturday morning. What day? I don't know what's going to be best for people. Maybe in the evenings, that kind of stuff. I kind of just came on here just to tell you about my Christmas lights, and I'm going to add some more Christmas lights to this. We're getting into that season of the winter time. Is just a month or two away, so to try to give you some income to get through the winter time. We do Christmas light business. And like I say, I got training on every bit of how we grew. We're going to do $500,000 just in Christmas lights this year. So I go through step by step how to hang the lights, how to custom design the lights, how to quote the lights, how to get customers, how to do everything there is with that. The Santa Claus hustle, you're absolutely right. And it's a very profitable business, very profitable. Your first year or two, it's maybe not be so profitable, but after that, it is very profitable. I would like once a week information live streams like this stream was very helpful. Awesome. But that is very important. Is get that. The other thing right now, if you're in the pressure washing and you're not afraid of ladders too much, is get ready. Let's get ready to gear up for gutter cleaning. Gutter cleaning business can be very profitable. We do that. We actually run 1 or 2 trucks pressure washing and gutter cleaning. That's all that truck does. And then we'll have 4 trucks running Christmas lights. But gutter cleaning can be very profitable also. There's no, other than your ladders, there's no upfront cost other than getting leads. Remember, when you're trying to grow a business, remember when you're spending money on marketing, you're investing in your business. Don't think of it as it's just a cost. You're investing into your business. Pressure Wash Cincinnati, to do $1 million, we're going to spend probably, it's going to be close to $60,000 to $100,000 just in advertising, just in marketing. And that's how we grow that business. We're going to have $60,000 just in ad spend, not including all the other stuff that we, the responsive bid, that we sent out Chris cards, we do all this other stuff. That's just AdWords, $60,000 just in AdWords. But it's going to get us to $1 million this year. And 2019 is going to hit $1 million again. And, I know some other businesses that they sold, and they're not even close to what they did before they sold. Let me see that question, because I like that question. That's a good question right there. I've tried running ads on Facebook and Craigslist for a month and got nothing yet. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Was thinking of getting flyers and handing them out. All right. So, with that is, so people say Facebook. Let's go on Facebook for a while. When I said $60,000, I never said Facebook, did I? This year, 2019, we haven't put out one post on Facebook. We haven't put out one ad on Facebook. We spent very little on. I bet we haven't spent. Pressure Wash Cincinnati hasn't spent $500 on Facebook. Now, does Facebook work? Absolutely does work. Facebook works because if you follow anybody else, Rob Anderson, that's how he gets all his businesses is through Facebook. Rob Anderson gets a boatload of Facebook, but here's what he does. And does he spend a lot of money on Facebook? No, but what he does is he spends a lot of time on Facebook. And when you spend a lot of time on Facebook, it's not about spamming the groups of, hey, look, I'm a pressure washer. You need to buy my stuff. That's not the same thing of what I'm telling you on Facebook. When you try to grow in these groups, you got to give information. When somebody says, hey, who's a plumber? Hey, John Boy over here is a plumber, and he's a great plumber. Hey, who's a electrician? John Boy over here is an electrician. He does a great job of electrician work. Hey, who's a pressure washer? I'm a pressure washer. I do great work. So, 1 time out of 10, you're talking about yourself. The other 9 times, you're communicating in the community and you're building that community stuff up. This works the same way if you're in Nextdoor. Nextdoor is another great way to do it. Nextdoor is a group that you can go in there and do the same thing. You're going to build relationships. You're not going to go, when you go on a date, you don't go to your first date saying, here, I'm going to stick my tongue out and I want you to kiss me and we're going to French kiss. No, you don't say, oh, this is our first date, we're going to go jump in bed. No, you don't do that. You go and you find out about each other and you learn about each other and you become connected together, and then you go move on to the next step. That's what you're doing when you're going out there on Facebook groups and saying, hey, I do pressure washing. You're doing the same thing. You're doing the exact same thing. You're going, hey, I want to go to bed with you tonight. And they're like, huh, good luck. Facebook jail. Facebook jail. You just went to Facebook jail because you went out there and spammed all these groups saying about you wanted to go to bed with these people right now. So I hope I'm driving this point across of don't go out there and say that. And flyers, go not, with Clipfire, we never had that work either. That didn't work for us. Now I'll tell you something that works good. Now, if you can, is signs. Signs work great. If you can in your area, and I understand some areas you can't. Some areas you have sign police, and that sign police don't just kick you off Facebook. They actually give you a $275 warning for it, so you don't do it again. But if you can use signs, signs is a great way. Take $300 a month. You can buy signs. You can buy 100 signs for $300. You don't have to have these big fancy $10 signs. Get the $3 signs and go put out 25 a week. Be prolific about it. Every week you go put out 25 signs, yard signs. This week I'm gonna put, and it's best to put them out on Friday. It's better to put them out on Friday versus on any day of the other week, because if you put them out on Friday, it will guarantee you it'll get out till Monday before they get pulled. You'll put out 25 signs a week, and when you do that, you do this prolifically. You do it every day. You do it every Friday, and you do it, and you make sure you do it every week. And you go get you another, and you can get 100 signs for $300, and it's 300, 325, something like that, and it will grow your business. My first year, that's how I did almost $30,000, was just from signs alone. Signs do work. Now, you got to make sure you put them in the right spot. Make sure you have the right wording on them. Make sure that it's big. The wording on it is big. One service per sign. Don't go to say, I do pressure washing, house washing, roof cleaning, concrete cleaning, all this other stuff, because nobody can read what you put on there. When you go up there, you're going to go, I do house washing. And that's going to be house washing, big, huge, 2 words. That's all that's on that sign. Huge phone number in the bottom. And if you want to put your website, little bitty down at the bottom of it. So we got a huge service, huge phone number, little bitty website. Most people are going to look at that phone number and know what it is. Exactly. You're not going to show your water-fed pole the first date. You're going to make sure that it comes out later. So, but that being said, make sure we getting our signs up. Make sure we're doing big signs, big numbers. Signs work. Another thing works is make sure we are doing your Google My Business, and you got it set up correctly. Again, I have all this stuff in my membership of how to make sure you have it set up correctly. And I'm actually working on this module as we speak this week. I'm going to go in detail of everything you need on Google My Business. I'll give you a little bit of hints here, but Google My Business is a huge way to get business, especially if you're in a nice neighborhood or close to a nice neighborhood. It is a great way to get business. What do we need for Google My Business? We need 100 pictures posted up on that Google My Business. And when you post 100 pictures, make sure they're named housewashingtown.jpg, and then upload that to Google My Business. Don't just upload a picture that is 1034 .jpg and put it up there. Make sure that it is pressure wash help, or it's Christmas lights / Florence, pressure washing / pressure washing, house washing union, house washing zip code, house washing town.mp. We're going to upload those pictures into Google My Business, and then we're going to do 100 of those. So this is a great way to put your before and afters. It's a great place to put you. make sure you are in those pictures, because when you are in those pictures and then somebody's looking at them, they know you're not somebody that's going to rob them and look shady and slim shady. They know it's you. That, you know, make sure you're in uniform so that way you look decent, you look professional, you don't look like some dude with a wife beater shirt and their boobs hanging out and man boobs hanging out, and nobody wants to see that. They don't want to see that at their house, and you don't want to show that. So make sure you're wearing nice clothes, you know, your shirt. And when we do that, we're going to put those in Google My Business. The other thing we're going to make sure we're doing is getting reviews. Reviews. This is social proof. When people start looking up and they find you in maps, because remember, when people look up Google My Business, or when the people look up you on Google, the first thing they're going to see is 3 ads. 1, 2, 3 ads. That's 2 swipes of the phone. The next thing they're going to see is Google My Business stuff, which is Google Maps. That's another 2 swipes to get past that. So in there, make sure you're getting found and located. And how we get located is make sure we're having our 5-star reviews and get as many as we can. Get every job asked for a 5-star review. And then the other thing is make sure we are getting our pictures. Our pictures are very important. And that will help you grow your business. Is this overnight? No, it doesn't happen overnight. But it's chipping away at, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Do we eat an elephant all one bite? No, we eat an elephant one bite at a time. And so if you're going to focus on Google My Business, focus on Google My Business for a little bit. Make sure we're getting our pictures, make sure we're getting all that. And then, you know, Facebook stuff, make sure, you know, do it prolific. Be out there, you know, DJ, he's on here and he's been getting some views from videos of just showing how to clean. You know, he went and got some blue marker, and it makes the soap look blue on the house, and he's using it as the Liberty soap that he's using that's specialized to him. They don't know that's a selling point, and it's working for him. He's getting business. You know, it works. It does work. You just got to be prolific and keep at it and keep chopping at it, and you got to keep chopping the wood and keep it going. Keep eating that elephant one bite at a time. You know, and eventually you will get to what your goal is, and set your goals. You know, this is a good time of year to set your goals. Set your goals so that way you can, you know, if you don't ever set a goal, you will never reach a goal. You will never reach your potential because you don't know what your potential is. Yes, set it. Maybe set a high goal. You know, a BHAG. Set a big goal. You know, what do you want to do in 5 years? Set that goal. Now we can go back and say, all right, if we want to do this in 5 years, now what do we got to do every year? Oh, now what do we got to do every month? Now what do we got to do every week? Now what do we got to do every day? You know, so set that goal, and then we can break that goal down. So then we can put it as a daily goal, maybe an hourly goal, maybe a minute goal if you really want to get crazy. But set your goal so that way you can grow that business. I hope I haven't been rambling too much. Like I say, you can go check out my stuff on go check out pressurewashhelp.com. I'm actually having a webinar talking about Christmas lights coming up and on Tuesday, August 12th. You can go check that out. I believe it is Pressure Wash Help / webinar. Go check out that link, and I'll give you some more information. I'm going to kind of go over how we got started, how I got grown my business, and how everything is. Thanks for your time. Awesome. Thanks for watching, Rick. Thanks for everybody watching. I got hey, I saw bleach crystals. Have you ever thought about, no, don't use the sodium calcium or sodium hypo, it's, shoot, I can't think what the name of it is, but we don't want to use that because what happens is it will leave a white chalky looking look after it is dried on the house. So that is why we want to use the liquid versus the, I believe it's sodium hypochlorite. Shoot, I can't remember. It's and that. Awesome, Brad. Thanks for watching, Brad, all the way from New Jersey. When I had my class, I was awesome to see. Yeah, calcium chloride, hypochlorite. It'll leave a white chalky residue all over it. I actually had some guys from New Jersey come down for my training class in August. I was kind of shocked to have people all over the country drive to the great state of Kentucky at the Northern Kentucky Airport and had 8 people come and learn about pressure washing. And there was people from Texas, there was people from all over. We had a Christmas guy from New York. He actually lives about 45 minutes from Manhattan, and he does Christmas lights. He does a lot of Christmas lights in that area. He's a landscaper, and he's wanting to do $500,000 in Christmas lights also. I'm glad you all joined. I'll try to start doing this more often. So especially if you have questions, ask. I may answer the questions in this little section, and I'll probably try to break this up and actually do it that way. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a great Sunday. Today I'm actually missing church because we got a soccer game with my daughter, and so soccer is kind of our life in the spring and fall and all that kind of stuff. She is 10 years old. She's my goalie. She loves it. We're in Division II. Actually, we're in Division III in our league right now. We're in first place, so I'm really proud of her and hope she can kill it. And it's the same thing, we got to be persistent and consistent and do it right. And even in whether it's sports, whatever it is, we can make it happen and do it. Again, check out my membership for more information if you want to go deeper and get all the techniques that I use to grow my business to $1 million. And it's going to do $1 million in 2019 again, even after I sold it, which is awesome. See you all and have a great day.